Good evening, New Sarah. Tonight, Isabell has just woken up in her condo, and she's excited because she gets to see Bianca tonight. The two of them, it's been a long time since they've had any time together. As she gets ready to go meet with her, she reflects on the night before at Club Gemini, and then afterwards, her willingness to watch over Sabra. It's just part of who she is. She likes to try and take care of people, and Sabra is a very young member of her clan, so she thought she would be able to have it on her conscience if she just walked away from her and let her get herself into trouble. But I tried to give her advice. I tried to help. She acted like it didn't matter, that what I had to say didn't matter. We'll see how far she makes it. But I'm not giving her any more advice for free. That's the last time that happens. It's also the last time I watch out for her like that. She wants to be reckless. I'll let her deal with the consequences. And she shakes this off and refocuses on what she's about to do. She fiddles with the locket around her neck. But Bianca's not the only person on her mind. There's someone else that creeps in there, spends more time there, more than she did before, and that's her sire, Kara. Her feelings for Kara are stronger now. She smiles when she thinks of her. Happy that Kara seems to finally be including her in things, but also feels a little bad for having those feelings because she loves Bianca. But now she also finds herself loving Kara.
Bianca arises this evening, far more rested and less distracted than the night before. Nightmares seem to stay at bay. They're not really nightmares, it's more of a memories coming back to home to awaken hours. But tonight they seem distant and unrelated, like another person. Miranda's kneeling there outside her door when she comes out into the main house. Good girl. We have a special guest tonight at the dungeon. And Bianca puts on some of her more risque outfits, underbust corset, a lace jacket, so to speak, that basically just hides the fact that she's topless when she's in public, and a very short skirt. And then she goes with thigh-high boots. Yes, I think this is too nice of tonight. What do you think, my dear Miranda? You look amazing, Miss Bianca. Thank you, my dear. She smiles at herself smiles at her reflection. Very well. Come along, dear. We have work to do. And Bianca and Isabel head down to the dungeon. Uh, Pretty quick. Doesn't take them long. It's not far away. They go inside, Miranda unlocking the door and holding it open for Bianca. She walks in and heads into the dungeon, trying to decide what she wants to use tonight. She has an idea on some things, but she contemplates what all she wants to do to her. She knows what they used to do. She doesn't think that that's going to be enough, though. She knows her body can withstand so much more now. Yes, so much more. And she pulls out the metal floggers that she keeps in a closet. Yes, I think tonight these will taste flesh. The first time they truly get to taste it, too. Maybe I'll name one rose and one peach. Yes, I like that. And she lays them out on the table bed thing in there. Maybe should I get a rope? I guess I should just wait. Actually negotiate with her what she wants. And so Bianca goes about getting a few things out that she knows she'll be using. Whips, the floggers. As she waits, Miranda sits in the front reception area, waiting for Isabel.
Isabell decides that she's going to dress up in a short skirt and a very tight corset. She gets it as tight as she can on her own, and as her assistant Melinda is busy tonight with coaching clients. It's just as well. I needed to take the night off. And it's one of those corsets that tightens in the front, so that makes it a little easier for her to get it as tight as she can. She's got quite a bit of strength, so she can pull it pretty tight, but the angle's a little awkward. And she puts on makeup and is very careful about how she does it. She wants it to look perfect. And she makes sure that she carefully picks out shoes. She decides against wearing plain high heels. She's going to go for her high-heeled boots. Black leather. She does love that smell. And she then picks up her purse and grabs her car keys and heads out the door. Her toy bag lives in her car so that she doesn't ever forget it, but she's sure that she really doesn't need it tonight, but she'll bring it in with her anyway as habit for her. She arrives at the dungeon fairly quickly because she drives, and she walks in the front.
You see an attractive young blonde woman sitting behind a reception desk. There looks to be very nice, comfortable couches in here. Good evening, you must be Miss Isabell.
Yes, I am, Isabell. Obviously, you were expecting me.
Yes, Miss Bianca said that you are a special guest tonight. She said I don't need to have you sign the usual waivers.
Oh, no. Yeah, I don't need to sign any of that. Thank you.
All right, I shall let her know you're here. And she gets up and goes to one of the doors leading off of here, opens it and goes inside. Comes back out a moment later and opens the door for you. She's ready for you.
Thank you, dear. And Isabell all of a sudden is now very nervous as she walks through the door. She can feel herself trembling a little bit with anticipation, not fear, but she's definitely nervous about this. It's been so long. As she takes a deep breath and walks through the door.
Inside, you see Bianca in what I described, except she doesn't have that little jacket on. She's completely topless.
Isabell walks in and kind of freezes for a moment. And
the door behind you closes.
Well, you certainly know how to make a girl feel welcome.
I do try, my dear. Come forward, and she's sitting on a throne, and she beckons you with her fingers.
Isabell moves across the room, her nervousness almost melting away, seeing Bianca sitting there and her beckoning to her. Her, I don't know if you call them instincts, but old habits, old memories kick in as she, almost as if she's not even moving, her body's moving on its own to Bianca. And she, without even thinking about it, kneels at her feet.
She leans forward, and you can clearly, her breasts are almost like right in your face now. You can see that tattoo, that yellow Texas rose tattooed right over her heart. Glad to see you remember, my dear.
Of course I do. I've thought about this day again for a while.
It's been far too long.
Yes, it has. And then her eyes move to the tattoo. Was that for me?
Well, it was for me. So I always had you just a little bit closer.
Well, I know that it was for you, but it symbolizes me because you call me your Texas Rose.
Very good, my dear. And she caresses your cheek.
Isabell leans into it, savoring the touch. Speaking of that, a name that I go by in this world is Rose. That's what I have people address me as.
Rose. Seems kind of fitting that you ended up a rose, truly a rose then, huh? My Texas rose.
Yeah, that was quite a coincidence that I chuckled over a few times.
Well, my dear, we have a few negotiations to deal with first. As she leans back in on the throne, looking down at you.
Isabell looks up. What kind of negotiations?
Well, what sort of expectations of play do you have tonight?
Honestly, the only expectation that I have is for you to touch me, to be all over me. That's what I want.
That's simple enough. I guess I can do that after all. And she caresses her lip as she's thinking. And one more question. Do you want to use the stoplights, or do we have another safe word you'd like to use?
I really don't plan on using a safe word, but stoplights are fine.
Wonderful. Keep it simple. Now get up, my dear, and disrobe.
Isabell does so without any hesitation. She stands up and takes everything off. Before taking off her boots, though, she looks at Bianca and she said, "Shall I take these off as well, or do you want me to leave these on?" As she stretches out her leg.
I think you can leave those on. Just want the clothes off. They're in my way.
Of course, of course. And she does not take off her boots, so she is completely nude with the exception of her high-heeled boots on.
And she stands up and walks around you, her fingers trailing over your body.
Oh, she does still have the locket on as well, unless Bianca decides to take that off of her.
She's still running her hands over your body as she walks around you, examining you.
Isabell stands there, closes her eyes, savoring Bianca's touch. And she bites her lip.
So, my dear, let's see. And she reaches up to the locket. I'm going to take this off so that it doesn't risk getting damaged. All right? So, you're muted.
Isabell nods.
And she reaches up around you, taking it off, reclasping it, setting it on the arm of her throne. She then picks up a yellow collar and wraps it around your throat, tightening it down. If you were mortal, you'd probably be close to having trouble breathing. It's very snug, but it's not quite constricting air flow.
Well, given her condition, she involuntarily lets out a bit of a gasp as the collar tightens around her throat, constricting the airway.
She then pulls out several lengths of rope bundled up, stretches out the first one. Jute, one of my favorites. And she drags it around your skin as she walks behind you, pulling it around the front of you, right across the top of your breasts, letting that rope just drag, pulling it so it's kind of digging in.
Jute's my favorite. I have it in my bag as well.
And she then begins doing a very beautiful chest harness, though some of the laps seem to be more than you would think necessary for just doing just a simple harness. And you're welcome to look around the room to see if you can figure out what she's planning to do with you.
Isabell is just enjoying Bianca's touch and the rope going around her body. She has a little bit of an idea of why Bianca might be wrapping this rope around her so many times. She's been suspended before. So she tenses up a little bit with anticipation, but is still very much enjoying the whole ritual of this.
You can feel her body pressed against your back, her occasionally taking breaths and breathing into your ear, soft moans from herself as she gets your body harnessed up. You then feel a slight tug up, and then another one, and you're on your tippy toes, and then another one, and you're suddenly falling towards the ground, except you're kind of in just a floating plane position. You feel her fastening off the end of the rope to the other part of the harness. You do notice that you're about waist level now.
Isabell, as she feels herself going up, she kind of stretches her arms out, both for maybe balance, but also kind of like maybe feeling like she's flying a little bit as she's hoisted up by the rope. And she smiles at Bianca.
Yes, I think I'm gonna have to adjust this. And she unhooks it and lets you down back onto your feet for a moment, taking off one of the ropes she's trussed you up with, turning you around to face her. And she begins attaching it in several places on the front of the harness. She then runs the rope up back and through the hooks and pulls using a bit of her own body weight. And again, you're up and off your feet and floating, and this time you fall backwards. Your legs, to not kick her, I'm guessing, would probably spray out around her, trying to maybe even grab for support.
Yep. Yeah, because she wants to avoid hitting Bianca if at all possible. She'd never hit her on purpose, obviously, and she would definitely try to avoid doing it.
She fastens it off to the harness portion near your hip. Yes, this is much better. Don't you think, my dear? She looks down at you.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
She walks around towards your head and caresses it, and then straddles your face, pulling your head up into her groin.
Isabell moans into it, and she knows exactly what to do as she begins hungrily lapping at Bianca's clit and moaning into it and just really enjoying being there.
You hear Bianca letting out moans of pleasure as well, though it's a bit muffled with her thighs around your ears. And you're pretty sure she's close to coming when she pulls away.
Isabell gasps, even though she doesn't need to. She still is breathing heavily and gasping for air as Bianca pulls away.
You can see that she's got an almost torn look on her face, like she wanted to finish, but she didn't.
Isabell looks at Bianca as much as she can, Is everything all right?
Yes, my dear, it's just things come out differently now, and we haven't agreed to blood bonding, so I'm refraining from going that far, at least that way.
Isabell nods. I understand.
And she spins you around a little bit and lets you just hang there spinning while she walks off to do something.
And Isabell spins as she is also thinking of what Bianca had said about the blood bonds, thinking about also then thinking about what happened with Kara a couple of nights previous as she's spinning.
Bianca comes back and catches your legs, pulling them apart again as she walks in closer to you. Now, my dear, I didn't ask how big you wanted it.
How big of what?
How big you wanted it.
Oh. Surprise me.
That's what I was hoping you'd say. And you feel something large pressing at the opening of your pussy as she begins to push this massive strap on into you.
Isabell gasps as she feels this massive object penetrating her. And she begins moaning at the. It's painful, but not. And she's really enjoying the feeling of this. And she almost wants it to hurt more. Not almost. She does.
And as just the tip is finally in, and she can tell that you're enjoying this, she buries the rest of the 14 inches of this thing into you. You feel almost like you're literally being torn open. It's so big around.
Oh, yes. Isabell's wish is granted as this massive thing makes its way into her, and she cries out in pain, but also revels in it, as this is exactly what she was hoping for.
Bianca then reaches up, gets a hold of your nipples, gives them a twist as she then begins using them to hold on as she thrusts this massive object in and out of you.
Isabell feels that as well, as she screams in agony and in pleasure. It's very mixed feeling it, and for her, the more it hurts, the more she likes it, the more pleasurable it is. And she, as this goes on, Bianca, if she looks at Isabell's face, tears start to stream down from just the intensity and pleasure and pain of the situation.
Bianca goes for a fair bit. You can almost, eventually, you can almost feel a slight vibration coming through this object, though you're pretty sure it's more for her pleasure than yours.
Where did you get that?
I had it custom made, my dear. And she finally pulls really hard, thrusting very hard against you. She begins to kind of, her hips begin to buck more as she has her own orgasm.
Isabell lets out another scream. This time, this scream is very much a scream of pain, just sheer pain, as this thing is buried in as deep as it can go, and she feels every inch of it inside of her. She's not even sure where in her this object is going, but she yeah, she's definitely screaming and more tears pour down her face, but she's very happy that Bianca has climaxed.
Once Bianca collects herself, she pulls this massive invader out of you, spins you around so you can see it, and it's a good 14 inches long and about this big around, but it's purple and sparkly.
In Isabell's state, everything's heightened, Auspex is on. She focuses in on this sparkly purple object in front of her, almost in disbelief that that thing was just in her. As a mortal, she would never have been able to handle that. Luckily, she's not mortal anymore. But she becomes a little transfixed on the beauty of this massive, sparkly purple cock in front of her. Well, that is beautiful.
Not nearly as beautiful as it was inside of you, because then the true beauty was seen on it.
Yeah.
As she caresses your cheek for a moment before removing the strap on.
Isabell keeps staring at it.
She then lowers you to the ground, begins slowly removing the rope from your body, dragging it to almost the point of it causing rope burns as she removes the rope from your body.
Isabell closes her eyes and enjoys the abrasiveness of the rope. This is one of her favorite parts of being tied up. She makes sure that she instructs her clients to drag it over her as hard as they can. She doesn't need to tell Bianca that. Bianca already knows what to do. Uh, 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 uh.
Once she's got the rope off, she takes your hands one at a time and puts a cuff around each wrist. Leather, yellow, much like the one around your neck. Tightens them down and takes you over to the St. Andrew's cross on the wall. It fastens you up. It's a little tall for you, but so you're kind of stuck on your tippy toes. But Bianca doesn't seem to care.
I'd say that you might have done this on purpose, making me be on my tippy toes the whole time.
Well, my dear, it does give your ass this lovely little curvature as she then caresses both ass cheeks.
I'm gonna guess that by now Bianca had removed her boots. Isabell's boots.
No.
No? Oh, okay. So, wow. That's pretty high up there then. Um, all right, so Isabell is fastened to this cross, having to be up on her tippy toes in her boots and enjoying Bianca's touching.
She doesn't touch you for too long. She does seem to savor the feeling of your flesh under her hands, though, squeezing it, caressing it, drawing her nails down your back, trailing kisses along the back of your neck before she walks away. Then you hear something. A crack.
Oh, when Isabell hears the crack of that whip, she, before it even hits her, she just lets out a moan of almost ecstasy just hearing it, and especially as her senses are heightened as well. She can hear that the crack of that whip even more clearly than she ever could before. The sound reverberates in her ears and creates a little bit of a vibration throughout her body that is also very pleasurable to her. She very much likes this.
And it's only the one crack before you feel Bianca pressed up against your back again, her hands up at your head, pulling something over it. A blindfold covering your eyes.
Isabell smiles as the blindfold goes over her eyes. Ah, yes, I expected this. Not that I mind. Just makes everything else stand out if I can't see.
One less source of input means the other ones get to pick up more. Nerves.
Yes. Yes, it does. And she, as much as she can, leans into Bianca, pressing against her.
And Bianca wraps one arm around you and pulls you close as you do that, kissing again into your neck. Then you hear her take a deep breath. Maybe she's taking a breath, smelling you, savoring having you here.
Isabell moans, also savoring having Bianca around her. Her breathing quickens as if it were going to, her heart would race with Bianca pressed against her and wrapped around her.
She then slowly lets you go and backs away. You have a moment of just silence before another crack of the whip and your flesh burns.
During that moment of silence and uncertainty, Isabell feels her anxiety ramping up just a little bit, not sure what's about to happen. She has hopes of what might happen, and then she feels the whip across her body and the searing pain of the fall of it, as she lets out another scream in agony and in pleasure. Yes, the cracker, sorry. As it digs into her flesh.
And you don't have long to wait before a second one strikes you from the other. You can feel it going in the other direction this time.
Isabell feels that and gives a similar reaction as before, but a thought crosses her mind as she even smiles to herself. She's using two. Ah, this is my lucky day.
And then she begins a 4-point Florentine on your back with the whips. Almost building up her own rhythm and music between the crack of the whip on your back and the swishing of the tails.
Isabell hears all of this, and she even hears the rhythmic tones of the whips as they dance across her back, and she becomes very keyed into how this sounds, and that it really does sound like music to her. And for a little while, she actually focuses more on that than on the pain that she's receiving. Just the beauty of the tones of these whips, the music that they're making is extremely beautiful to her.
You're listening, and then you hear Bianca say, "And double time." And then she spends a point in celerity, and the whips seem to be falling faster than is humanly possible. 8 times, or twice as fast as they were 8 times in what would have been a single pass, maybe more. It's just going so fast now.
Isabell notices this, and also the music that they're making quickens and almost overwhelms her as she is listening and feeling this. She becomes trapped in the music of the whips and the feeling that they're giving her, and her senses almost don't know what to do with themselves as they are heightened and overstimulated. She's still making noises, but not quite as much as she was before. As if Bianca listened, she might be able to tell that her body is a little bit confused on what to do.
Bianca, knowing that she doesn't have nearly the limits she normally does, isn't trying to rend flesh from bone, but she likes to be able to do things, not have to hold back. She's not going to kill her, not by any stretch. These whips don't have crackers to cut. Well, they could. It wouldn't take too much work, but these are made mostly to pop and sting. Double time, yes, double time. That's when she really gets the flow going. And it's just, in her mind, it is beautiful. This is her passion, the speed and repetition, the pattern. She likes the patterns. They make things simple. She doesn't have to think about it. She doesn't even have to think about what she's doing. It just happens. She's been doing this for years. The whips, almost then striking even faster. She switches to a 6-point Florentine. The pattern of swishes changes as she has to pull one up through her body on each half of the pass to fully complete the pattern. Eventually, she slows back down, though. And stops. Lays the whips across her throne. She comes up, kisses down all the marks on Bianca's back. She runs her hands up and then drags her nails down them.
On Bianca's back?
On Isabell's back. Bianca does it on Isabell's back.
Okay. As Bianca is doing this and she hears the music stop, and she feels Bianca on her body quivers and trembles, and she moans and even screams as touching those fresh marks definitely hurts, but it hurts so good. And she is once again enjoying Bianca's touch and leaning into it as much as her restraints allow her to.
Are you good or do you want more, my dear?
I always want more, but we only have so much time in the night.
Well, then I'll give you a little taste of something before our next meeting. How's that? Something to look forward to.
All right.
Bianca goes and picks up one of the heavy chain floggers woven with barbed wire. You hear a jingle of metal as she walks up behind you. You can't see anything because of the blindfold. You hear this metal start swishing. And then you feel this hard impact and this searing, almost clawing into your flesh. As she just takes one strike from each side across your back.
Ah! 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 Oh, what is that? Ah! Isabell doesn't know exactly how to react. This is something that none of her clients have ever used on her before. Much different, a lot more painful, but like as before, she still very much enjoys it.
This, my dear, is something I save for special clients like you.
It's it's got a lot of bite to it.
It's a little bit of stingy, a little bit of thuddy, and a whole lot of fun.
It's like it's got thorns or something, like very, very sharp thorns.
And she sets the flogger down across one of the arms of her throne as she then comes up and runs her hands up Isabell's back and then along her arms, unfastening her from the cross, letting her back down under her feet. She turns her around and pulls her face in and kisses her.
As Isabell's feeling herself being released and turned around, her back isn't bleeding, by the way. She didn't allow herself to bleed. She didn't want to get Bianca's toys dirty. She feels herself turning around and being kissed. Did she remove the blindfold? Yeah, I didn't think so. She very much leans into the kiss and kisses back and allows herself to almost melt into Bianca. She savors this moment.
She then, once they break the kiss, pulls back and removes the blindfold to look into Isabell's beautiful green eyes. So how is that, my dear? She caresses your cheek.
That was amazing. Yeah, the clients that I have, I can't really let them do things like that because then they'll know something's different. That was amazing. You're amazing.
Well, thank you, my dear. If you like, we can set up to meet once a month, every couple of weeks, once a week, if you want, for sessions to help you fully reach your possibilities.
I'd really like to see you once a week. I'd like to see you every day, but I know that's really not gonna happen. So once a week, maybe we can make happen.
We might be able to do that then. I'll keep Sundays free.
I usually keep Sundays free, So yeah, that'll work.
And she goes over to the throne and picks up the flogger that she just hit you with. You see these thick metal chains hanging with barbed wire woven through them.
Looks like you've made yourself a scourge. I like the barbed wire. That's really something.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. I've been practicing making new toys. Now that I have a high level of people I can use things on with less risk of death, it's a lot more fun that I can have. And you see this wicked grin on her face.
We can have a lot of fun. Yes.
And she then picks up its partner. So you see that she has two of them. And judging by how heavy these look, before she was embraced, you'd be surprised she could wield one of them. She's holding both of them without too much trouble.
Isabell smiles. Looks like you've gotten stronger.
Oh no, my dear, I'm still the weak little woman who sits in the back of gym class. Pretends to be a gymnast on occasion.
Oh, you weren't too bad. I bet you're even better now.
Oh, I'm better at a lot of things. I don't know that I'd say gymnastics is one of them, though.
I bet you could be if you tried. I run a coaching business. You could stop by the gym sometime.
I don't even know if I have clothes that'd be appropriate to wear, something like that.
Oh, don't worry. I've got lots of extras.
What, am I gonna be wearing some t-shirt and gym shorts?
Oh, no. You wear a nice, tight-fitting leotard, as is appropriate.
My dear, I haven't worn a leotard since high school.
Isabell gets this kind of soft look in her eyes, almost puppy dog look. You'd wear one again for me, wouldn't you?
I might contemplate.
I mean, that was one of the first things that attracted me to you, was seeing you in that tight-fitting leotard, accentuating all your curves and muscles. Hmm.
Yes, I always did have more curves than I should have for a gymnast. It's part of why I never could get around to it.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed watching you. I still do.
And she walks up and takes the restraints off your wrists, reaches up, caresses the collar on your neck. I miss this. And she grabs the D-ring on the front, tugging on it a little. This should have stayed.
I miss this too.
We'll take things slow, see where they go. Don't want to jump back into things since things, as much as they stay the same, have changed.
I know. I know. Besides, if I started wearing a collar around, people would definitely be asking questions.
Well, they wouldn't think that it's from me. After all, I just beat people up, and they think I'm some thug on the street. It's quite amusing.
Right, but they'd start asking Kara questions. Those aren't the kind of questions I want people to ask her.
What if I got you something a little more decorative and a little less obvious?
Isabell's eyes light up.
They make collars, but they're more akin to anklets. Metal.
Yes, and that's something that's not quite noticeable right off the bat. I can hide it if I need to, because after all, it's just for you and me, right?
Right.
Well, like you said, take it slow. Maybe eventually I can wear one.
Then we'll take it slow, see where it goes.
Isabell then kind of looks over at the locket hanging around the arm of the throne.
She goes over and gets the locket, comes back. It's hanging off of one wrist as she takes the collar off you. She seems very reluctant to take it off, but she does. She holds it under her arm as she then takes and puts the locket back on.
I've always used this, and she tugs at the locket as a symbol of you and me together. I've never stopped loving you, and I never will.
She caresses the tattoo. It's almost like it's a second nature to her now. She's probably had it for a few years. Yes. Got too many questions on why I had a locket of some stranger that nobody ever seemed to know, but I always wanted to talk about. So I just got a tattoo. Something beautiful. Something that reminded me of you.
Isabell smiles. That's really, really sweet. I really like the tattoo. It's beautiful.
And it's a very intricate tattoo now that you're not like in a whirlwind of sensation and whatnot. It's very intricate, very delicate, very beautiful, beautifully done.
Yes, Isabell notes this, and she stares at it for probably a little longer than she should. And she actually reaches out to touch it if Bianca will allow her to. Now she runs her hands along the the tattoo, tracing all the little lines.
If you have Auspex on still, you probably feel the little changes in skin, where each color is, where each line is.
Oh yeah, she still has Auspex on. Yeah, she feels all of the little imperfections and color changes and everything in the tattoo. Even she can even feel where shading had stopped and started again. Just the little minute changes. To her is still very beautiful. All the sensation uh, entering her fingertips from feeling this tattoo, and also because of who she's touching.
You feel a hand on the back of yours as you're caressing the tattoo. No matter what happens, you will always be here. She presses your hand against it.
A tear rolls down Isabell's cheek as she closes her eyes and feels Bianca press her hand into the tattoo and say those words. I wish that I had gotten a chance to get a tattoo before I got embraced. I wanted to get one that reminded me of you. I just couldn't decide on something that would do it justice.
That's why I decided on a Texas rose. Because, my dear, she lets go of your hand and cradles your cheek in her hand. Now, you are my Texas rose. The most beautiful rose there is. And she gives you a very soft kiss this time.
Isabell savors the kiss, and she lets it be soft and sensual. She doesn't try and push it any further than that. She very much enjoys Bianca's sensuality as much as she enjoys her roughness. She enjoys both facets of her.
I guess you should be getting dressed now. I'm sure you have a busy night ahead of you.
Yeah, I suppose I probably do have a couple other things I need to do. Uh, Fortunately. And she's very reluctant to get up. She, yeah, she lingers there for a little bit longer before finally getting up and putting her clothes back on.
As Bianca watches her get dressed, she notices the marks that on most people would last weeks beginning to fade on Isabell. And she begins contemplating how she can leave a mark, something just for Isabell. And a slight grin appears on her face. And she thinks to herself, yes, I think that'll work nicely.